You know, I think it's amazing to speak on an experience when it's an experience, to speak on something when you went through it. And as I come out the other side of the initial rabbit hole, I have a quick message for new spiritualists. I don't even want to say young, because we come at all different forms and we come in all different ages, you know. Everybody walks into their spirituality at a different age. But I do want to highlight young people, because at times we see that the younger the person is, the more naive they are. The spiritual rabbit hole, right? The spiritual rabbit hole. And as I come out the other side of my spiritual rabbit hole, I see how ignorance can be so bliss. Like, I really truly understand that statement. I think that the spiritual internet has been broken. You know, it's still there, it's still thriving. But I would say I've been on my path for the past 3 years. And, you know, I learned so much. I learned so much through the spiritual internet and that community. And I've now reached a point where I no longer want to be a part of that community. Why? Because if there's something, what I've learned in the past, let's say 3 months, right, as I'm exiting my own rabbit hole, what I've learned is the power of self, right? And how spirituality is truly different for every single person. And I feel like the reason why a lot of people follow others is because they're new, there's no guidance, and at the end of the day, we all do use different forms of the original spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, and we make it into our own, which I also feel like can be very detrimental in so many ways. So this is a video to say that you are your own guru, right? You are your own guru. There is no one in the spiritual community that knows you better than yourself. I'm very big on astrology, huge on astrology, in fact, and I see the importance, but the power of astrology, and I see how powerful it is for someone to have your birth chart information if they know what they're doing. I've noticed stuff about astrology within myself that a basic website can't really tell me, you know? Of course, we Google, what's this mean? What's this mean? Oh, it's moon and Leo and all that other stuff. But when you really look at somebody's astrology chart and you look at the symbolism and you know their life, it's scary. The way I've delved deep into my chart and I've seen all my traumas and all this on that, I'm like, wow, thank God nobody knows my life story. Thank God nobody truly knows my life story, because who knows how damaging they could be to me. They may start to understand too much about myself that I don't want displayed out. I've seen in this new age spirituality how astrology has been used as a tool of not only manipulation, but also, you know, a threat to one's confidence. I've heard endless people say, I wish I was this sign, I wish I was that sign. When in reality, we are all of the signs, right? We have all 12 signs within our one chart. So you are that sign. You may not be a Taurus sun, but you have Taurus in the 4th house. You know what I'm saying? Astrology has been used as a form of manipulation, and it has been breaking a lot of people's confidence. The way that I see, like, For example, the most common phrase, water signs are the most psychic. Come on, man. So you're really telling every other sign they're not as psychic as water signs? Every sign is psychic within their own right, within their own form. You know what I'm saying? You have people doubting their abilities because they're not a water sign? While there is fact and truth for how water signs are psychic and how they are psychically different from fire signs or earth signs or air signs, imagine a young astrologer looking, or someone just interested in an astro, looking at that. They could be doubting their abilities. So I can honestly say throughout these 3 years, there are traps I fell into. You know what I'm saying? Especially with astrology. And astrology being a person's blueprint, it could be so damaging. But I always knew that I was going to form my own understanding of astrology. Because if there's one thing I do know, is that this spirituality that we're all in, we're here to form our own methods and do our own thing. We have people out here following people that they don't even know, which is fine, right? But it says something. Because everybody has a message to be said, right? But blind following the blind. Nobody can tell you what's good for you. Even the closest person to you. So as we're in this Sagittarius season, right? Sag being the sign of belief, spirituality, freedom. I find it ironic how I am taking note of all this. There's a very famous astrologer that was exposed about a week and a half ago, about how her astrology was very damaging to people listening to her and following her. And not only that, she was withholding money from somebody that worked for her or requested something from her. Something along those lines of not paying somebody over $2,000 or $3,000. And even though that is an extreme case, we see how the blind is leading the blind. Shoot, I've been scammed. I think it was about to be coming up on year 2 of my spiritual journey. Yeah. Coming up on year 2 of my spiritual journey. And what was it? A card reading. And what happened? The lady, she had so many posts, so many followers. I paid $21 for a 7 spread card reading, which isn't really a hassle, for anyone, especially someone that reads cards. And I never received it. DM'd her about 2 times. She ignored me, and I said, wow, imagine how many more people she's doing this to. Do not be spiritually scammed. And that's something else. I want to talk about these tarot readers. Personally, and it's been proven that, I am gifted in tarot, and that every single message that I have sent out to somebody, they've resonated with it, humbly speaking. But even sometimes, I look at what these people are asking about. It's like, I know I do not have this skill from the divine to tell you about your love, to tell you about something you already know. But we're not going to judge over here, Everyone's at a different path in life. But you see the questions they're asking, and it's like, wow, okay, I'm pretty sure you know the answer. Then it boils down to not everyone's supposed to give you a message, Not everyone's meant to give you a message, because people are only looking at your life through their reality. They don't really know what's going on. They don't really know what's going on. And that's why I feel like spirituality is about becoming quiet and going within. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong when you go within. You do what makes you feel good when you go within. You do what feels right when you go within. You hear your ancestors when you go within. I see so many people just working with deities. Just calling out these deities like it's nothing. What? One thing I've learned is that, we do have more power than these deities. Why? Because we created them. And I got that from Brother Panic. Check out his videos. We created these deities. One thing these deities don't understand is how to live a human life because they're not human. But your ancestors know how to live a human life. They did it before. That's why first things first is work with the ancestors. And it's funny, I've always known that, but after 3 years and after seeing how much outside noise there is, I'm like, no. It's me and my ancestors. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Because the ancestors can tell you how to get it in this life. They know what it's like to be a human. Deities are great to work with when you want to get something and see what they can help you with. So many deities. So many deities. Right? See what they can help you with as you're on your journey. But the ancestors would tell you how. They will tell you how, what you need to go for. You know what I'm saying? They'll really put you on that path. So, personally, I'm happy that I can come on my platform and be honest and really say, wow, like, I've learned so much. It's been so amazing. You know what I'm saying? But I got to the point where I was like, okay, hold on. I thank you. Thank you, outside world, for giving me a lot of tools, a lot of information. But now it's my time not to hoard this information because it's too much. It's too much. Now it's time to be free within my own spirituality. And I think that this is very important. And I think that a lot of people should start to seek within. You know? You listen to these people and the way they have executed their life and moved through their life. You get that knowledge. You understand it. But it's very tricky. Mercury is very tricky. It's very tricky because you have to understand you still are not them. So it's like, how do you learn a lesson that somebody else used to get through their life, a different life, and apply it to your own? Right? And then it's like, what if that's not the lesson for you? You know? For example, you can have someone that says, I really had to boundary myself up and get away from people and this, away from people. But you may have the life where you need to run towards people. You know what I'm saying? That's why this information is so delicate. It's so delicate. I started unfollowing so many people on the spiritual internet. That's what I call it. And now I see how much of a matrix. Like, now I see the spiritual matrix. You know what I'm saying? What? Listen, when anything hits the internet and it goes wild, you have to think about it 3-4 times. You have to. You have to. You work with your ancestors, you believe in your ancestors, and they will send you, guaranteed, they will send you what you need to do. You know? I feel like the spiritual internet has also lengthened the belief that spirituality is outside of you. I started to look at the spiritual internet as a book. All right, I'll sift through it. Oh, okay, I like this page. I'll read a paragraph in this page. But how? Well, 1, should I even apply this paragraph to my life? 2, hey, maybe reading this paragraph can help me help somebody else. Maybe it doesn't apply to me. Boundaries, boundary work from the spiritual internet. boundary work from anything outside of yourself. Spirituality is about coming in with self, meeting self, walking back. You can't go forward. My thing is, you got to go back to go forward. Ain't no way. You got to go back to go forward. It's like a rebirth. You got to release. What are you sacrificing? You know what I'm saying? You got to release to gain. And that's a continuous cycle of life. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. So this is something that I realized for myself. And, you know, I really like people that heavily state in their videos, this is my experience. This is my experience. So this is the first time I'm going to state that all of this has been my experience. And I hope with you guys hearing my experience, it could help you too. But if there's one thing that all spiritual leaders or teachers, the great ones and the honest ones will tell you is yourself first, and they will help you to train yourself so you do not need them. A lot of y'all have spiritualists that you are in constant need with, like these tarot readers. You go there, you watch their video every day, every week, you're in constant need, you're paying for the videos, and geez, you know? So this is my video. We're going to cut it here. You are your own guru.